Oh, I forgot to do one more thing. Sorry, hold on a second. And we gotta... Alright, close enough. I actually like how it is right here. Anyway, hello ladies and gentlemen, Forrest over here, and welcome back. Get this thread out of my face. Out of the way. Yeah, get all that stuff out of my way. Hey, Malia, how you doing tonight? Anyway, also, hello ladies and gentlemen, Forrest over here, and welcome back to more Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth. Now, we are doing something new here a little bit. I did change up the kind of music that you'll be listening to. So instead of the original games version, we're going to be playing a little bit of the arranged music because I wanted to show you guys the differences between both of them. Let's see what else we got. Daniel Barry saying happy Saturday. Happy Saturday / Sunday to you. Let's see. Got Malia saying doing well, how are you? I'm doing pretty well, thank you. And Trainer Mystic at Cedar Point with Mew. Tell Mew I said hi. Also, I hope you guys are having a good time at Cedar Point. Yeah, it's been a while since I last heard from Mew, but I hope he's doing well just as well. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with this with the beginning of the game. Turnabout Airlines. So let's see here. Gonna have to, you said hi? Well, yeah, I miss talking with this man. I'd like to, you know. So I know what this is, because I already did do this a bit off screen. But it has been a few days, as you can tell from the date. So we're just gonna go ahead and start fresh with the beginning of the chapter. Yeah. And depending on how long it takes for me to do this, we might do a whole other section as well. So, yep, let's do this. March 12th, 1 p.m. local time, Hope Springs Airport. Also, because I do have Edgeworth speaking a bit with a British accent, I'm going to try to do a British accent. I apologize in advance if people do not like it. But because of how his voice sounds, it has that British accent, I have to speak with one. So, yeah. I I know that once we had landed, I'm supposed to let the local police take over. And thanks to Miss Tenero and Miss Meal, I was able to preserve the crime scene. But I just can't shake it. I wasn't able to talk with Miss Tenero in private. So I'm left wondering just what was she up to? Why did she do what she did? There must be a way for me to continue my investigation. I've been expecting you, Miles Edgeworth. Hey, Franziska's back! Franziska? I thought you were still in Germany. I go where I am needed. And wherever there are criminals to be caught. Her name is Franziska von Karma, the daughter of my mentor, Manfred von Karma. She, like myself, is a prosecutor. Are you heading up this case? It would be a bit of a relief if you are. Don't you try to flatter me, Miles Edgeworth. I'm placing you under arrest. What? It's quite frustrating, actually. I had hoped to exact my revenge on you in a different venue. But I'll have to take what I can get. I never thought I'd see the day when a disciple of the House of Von Karma would become a criminal. Have you no shame? Wait! And it's all been a big misunderstanding. I didn't kill the victim. A misunderstanding? I heard all about the murder over the police radio from the captain himself. You waited for the victim on the first floor and then beat him to death. Franziska, do you honestly believe that I killed a man? Now we got her thinking. I suppose I should reserve judgment until after I have investigated this for myself. I can put your arrest on hold until then. That's as it should be. Huh. I don't need a lecture on how to perform my duties from you of all people. What, you prefer it be your father? Oh wait, that's right. He's in jail for a crime that he committed. To be perfect in every way. The fulfillment of that creed alone is all I strive for. Well, I have my own creed which I must fulfill. So why don't we solve this together? I have to get going. The crime scene awaits. Don't you dare leave town. Trust me, I had no intention to. Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir! Too slow! Ow! I swear to God, this woman and her whip, she uses that thing religiously. Listen up. I'm leaving you in charge of watching this man. Don't mess up, understand? Mr. Edgeworth? I'm supposed to guard him? A simple yes or no, detective. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. You just leave it to me. Miles Edgeworth. If you interfere with my investigation, I'll arrest you on the spot. Are we clear? Now then, if you'll excuse me. Good to see you again, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Boy, am I glad to see you're okay. Thank you, Detective. I believe in you, sir. You can lean on me. I'll get you through this. I have to admit I'm a bit curious as to what Franziska is up to. Maybe I should ask the good detective. Very well. In that case, I have a few questions for you. Now, before we turn to the detective, let's look at a few of these things here. Lunchland. Not bad. I guess it's gotten big enough to warrant its own branch shops. Which should I go with? I recommend our airport special. World Flags lunchboxes. Only available for a limited time. We have a variety of lunchboxes made up to look like different countries' flags. I wonder if they're aiming to take Lunchland to the international market. This man was in first class with me. He was quite shaken up by the whole affair. I did it. I made it the whole flight. I'm not scared of turbulence anymore. He must have been pretty scared. He's repeating the same thing over and over to himself. Hey, we're saving what is essentially the best for last. Looking from behind, I think I've seen this man somewhere before. Nom 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 nom. Soviet Russia, World Flags lunchboxes eat too! Found it all! Ooh! I feel a way of freedom powers coming on! It's over 9,000 lols! Think about this, but that's a reference too. For my next movie, it's going to be this new samurai, Meet Warrior Neo to Tokyo, versus the World Samurai, Champion of Earth. He's gonna box, there's so many boxers! So the Steel Samurai is finally getting a movie. Interesting. Oh wait, we gotta talk to this boy. This child seems to be happily enjoying the sight of so many planes. Wow, I'd love to take a run down that runway! Oh, the youth of today. So much potential yet so misguided. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. Anyway, let's talk with Gumshoe. So how is the initial investigation going? We just shipped the body off to the coroner's office. And we're taking statements now, sir. That sounds like Franziska. She was always good at quick responses to a case. I'd say she was, a little too quick, sir. Oh? How so? I rushed on over as soon as I got word of the affair, sir. But somehow, when I got here, Miss Von Karma was already here barking out orders at everyone. It was kind of creepy, as though she knew there had been a murder or something, and had come in advance to await your flight's arrival. That is sort of odd. She did show up rather quickly, and out of the blue. Of course, I still don't know why she's here in America. There must be some backstory to all of this. Franziska Von Karma. Miss Von Karma just kind of popped up in the prosecutor's office about a week ago, sir. Something about chasing down leads related to a certain incident. No details? It's kind of top secret, so she can't talk about it, even with me, sir. Knowing her, the only type of talking she likes to do is with a whip. Plus, I doubt the top secret part was what stopped her from talking to you, Detective. Although I wonder if her case has anything to do with mine. Anyway, that's about all the info I have, sir. We should find out more as we investigate. Yes, it is high time to resume my investigation. Starting with talking to the people involved in this case afresh. March 12th, 1:37 p.m. Flight G390, second floor, first class. So you must be the captain. Why, yes I am. And who might you be? I am the prodigy prosecutor, Franziska Von Karma, and I have a few questions for you. Don't you dare, Captain, getting friendly with another woman. I'll never forgive you if you do. What are you talking about? I only have eyes for you, my dear Cammy. I wouldn't bet money on our dear captain to be much of a reputable person. Sure you don't want to ask the captain some questions, sir? He was in the cockpit the entire time. I highly doubt he would know anything of use. Anyway, I'd like to leave that type of witness to Franziska and a whip. 3, 2, 1. Ah! Yep, she just whipped him. And I just love how Edgeworth is like, I expected that to happen. March 12th, 1:40 p.m. Flight G390, first floor lounge. Now see here. Ah! Sorry. I'm sorry! How long do you intend to hold me? It is impossible for me to be the criminal, I tell you. Mr. LeBlanc. Oh, it is you! Tell this man to stop stopping me from going. Time is money! I don't have even 1 second of wasteful time to spend. Sir, you can't go in there. I'm Miles Edgeworth. I am one of the prosecutors in this case, so please let me through. I'm very sorry, sir. No one is allowed to enter without Miss Von Karma's express permission. But I'm on the case. Yes, I understand that, but I also have explicit instructions not to let you through for Miss Von Karma. Why would you do this to me, Franziska? Did you finish taking this statement yet? Yep, all done, sir. I do not concern if you're not done examining the cargo hold. I want my cargo back. The Blank's cargo. If you make a single scratch on my art, you will pay. Art? What sort of art? Mr. LeBlanc is an art dealer, so he's got a bunch of artwork down the cargo hold, sir. There's practically a mountain of them, large and small. From folks' costumes to stone statues, I sell all kinds of arts. Folk costumes? Speaking of which, Mr. LeBlanc's hat. It kind of looks like another piece of cloth. Here, in case you're wondering what he's referring to, he's referring to that. Mr. LeBlanc, can you please take a look at this for me? Oh! It's a Virginian cloth! As I suspected. Your hat is made of the same material, I suppose? Yes, of course! These fabrics are so famous, orders come from all over the seas for more. Bloody cloth data updated in my organizer. World famous export of Virginia. Its beautiful pattern has been soiled by blood. And this is the cargo you were talking about earlier? No, no, no! My cargo this time is much, many gigantic. You're detective! When can I have my cargo moved? You can get your cargo back when we're done investigating, pal. The stubbornness of your police! It is no good! And it is no good that attendant refuses to exit the attendant's room too. That attendant? I wonder if he's talking about Miss Tenero. Rhoda Tenero. What did you mean by that attendant, Mr. LeBlanc? She was taken into the attendant's room for an interview. And then they still have not come out. They make no sign of coming out either. I was finished with my own interview much earlier, quicker than her. Why is Miss Tenero's interview the only one that's taken up so much time? Miles Edgeworth, you were given free rein to examine the place, weren't you? Yes, I was able to obtain the cooperation of the flight attendants. Speaking of attendants, I'd like to speak with Miss Tenero. I wonder if you might grant me permission to enter the flight attendant's room. Before I do, you still have to clear up a few issues surrounding your own circumstances. I understand. You may have tricked those attendants with your sophisticated talking, but you can't pull the wool over my eyes, Miles Edgeworth. Alright, time for our first of many battles with Von Karma. Argument. Franziska's logic. Let's not complicate things and go with the most obvious conclusion. The scene of the crime was here in the very lounge the body was discovered. From the time the victim was seen calling for an attendant until his body was found. The only person in this lounge the entire time was you, Miles Edgeworth. This unmistakably makes you the likeliest suspect. Does it? The likeliest suspect, Franziska. Do you have a problem with that? No, but it's not likely to use such vague wording. You're usually a bit more absolute. I'm simply trying to watch out for you. Or is my kindness too hard for you to comprehend? Thank you, but your leniency is unnecessary, for I will prove my innocence soon enough. If I want to continue my investigation, I'll have to break a line of logic fast. Rebuttal. Franziska's logic. Nope. That's definitely not it.
Objection!
There we go. I almost forgot about that bit. I was on the right track with the picture, but I used it. It was still wrong, but I was on the right track. Because if you guys, but the picture does tell you the story. Because if you recall correctly, it was likely that the body was found. It was in that suitcase. So, and when you also come up with the fact that you had the footprints and the tire tracks, it kind of falls into place with that. It would appear that you did not have all the information you needed after all. And what does that mean? I found a nice piece of evidence just before I was forced to stop investigating. A piece that proves that the body was moved from a different location. The killer used the suitcase to move the victim's body, meaning that the real scene of the crime is not this lounge at all.
Objection!
Now who's the one rationally jumping to conclusions? Excuse me. All you did was find this piece of cloth inside the suitcase. That doesn't prove that the body was moved. It could be that the killer simply chose that suitcase as a good place to hide the cloth. I expected you would come to that conclusion. It would seem I can't escape that easily. You should know better than that. Yvonne Karma is perfect in every way. Oh, but did you know that the killer definitely wheeled the suitcase around at some point? As if there's proof of that. Where's the proof? So I actually used it at the wrong time, because it's actually here. And we use it. The spilled grape juice in front of the elevator. Yes, and I'd like to draw your attention to this in this area here. Where's the evidence that proves the killer dragged the suitcase through here? Oh gee, I wonder what it is. Oh, it's probably the tire tracks.
Take that!
This mark here. Wouldn't you say that it looks suspiciously like tracks with two wheels? I suppose. Further, there's also grape juice residue on the wheels of the suitcase. This means that the suitcase containing the victim's body definitely passed through here. I suppose this means that the killer did move the victim's body from somewhere else. I'm glad you've come to your senses.
Objection!
Not so fast! This still doesn't put you in the clear, not by a long shot. Alright. Francisca's Logic Part 2. Let's see what she's got to say. You prepared yourself and applied the piggy bank before the plane hit that turbulence. And then you waited for the victim in the lounge where you beat him to death. Then while you were in the elevator with the victim's body stuffed in the suitcase, the plane hit that patch of turbulence and out flew the body from within the suitcase. With no way out, you hastily put the suitcase back where you had taken it from, and pretended to be the discoverer of the body. Not a bad bit of logic for something you thought of on the fly. Oh damn! Just what are you insinuating? That I will show you exactly how flawed your logic is. No matter how strong of a face you put on, not even you can hide your fears from me. I'll expose the flaws in our logic in one fell swoop. That's cause it's really this easy. She brought up the piggy bank, right? Let's use the piggy bank.
Objection!
The fact that you took this piece of evidence into account in your testimony is to be commended. Your legal prowess is certainly something to be feared. Evidence and logic. Essential tools that those who stand in a courtroom who would stand in a courtroom must learn to master. But what if there was a fake piece of evidence thrown into the mix? A fake? This Captain Hugo piggy bank. It's just such a fake. It is not the real murder weapon. What? The timing of when the bank was taken from the shop is important. And it was taken after the turbulence had occurred. But then, what about the blood on the bank? What do you make of that? I assume it was added after the murder when the killer fabricated this weapon. Looking at it this way, the killer basically did three things after the turbulence. After exiting the elevator, the killer brought the suitcase to the shop and left it there. Then the killer proceeded to pick the bank up from off the floor and took it to fabricate a fake murder weapon by hitting the victim on the head. Finally, the victim's wallet was planted on my personage, in my pocket to be precise. Everything was done so that I would be framed for the murder of Mr. Akbe Hicks. You there! Yes, ma'am! Other than this piggy bank, was anything else resembling a murder weapon found? We didn't find anything in this lounge or in the shop that could be used as one, ma'am. Most of the items that could have been used were broken during the turbulence. And the remaining items all tested negative for any trace of blood. I see. Well, Miles Edgeworth, it appears your stall tactics are at an end. But it's possible that it's just hidden somewhere, sir. Hey! If the criminal had wanted to hide the weapon in a safer place, I'd think the weapon would have been hidden in the same place as the bloody cloth. Exactly what I was thinking. Because the cloth was hidden inside the suitcase, it signals to me that the killer had not prepared a more secure place to hide the evidence, which means that the real murder weapon is either still on the murder's personage, or is still at the real crime scene. There is one more possibility, and that would be that the piggy bank is in fact the real weapon. But didn't we just... Hold it! Let me finish! The killer took the bank out from the display case before the turbulence by opening the lock on the display case door. And it was at that time that the glass pane in the door was broken. I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable line of reasoning, wouldn't you? Let's see. So that means that the killer had the key to the display case. Franziska, the person you're talking about. Not so fast. I'm not finished. The person I'm talking about also committed another sin. She tricked the captain and granted you permission to conduct your investigation. Yes, it is the sin of lying. Speaking of which, I recall that you also wished to speak with her. Yes. Very well. Permission granted. But only if I can sit in on your interrogation. Do we understand each other? I have no intention of interrogating her, but you are welcome to accompany me if you so wish. Miss Tenero is in the flight attendant's room. Let's move. March 12th, 2:23 p.m. Flight G390, first floor, flight attendant's room. So you're the one that poked around inside this plane without the captain's permission. Deviating from the flight attendant's manual is very unbecoming, you know. What were you hoping to accomplish by doing that? Miss Tenero. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. You're here too? Can you please help us and shed some light on why you did what you did? Alright. This door leads to the cargo hold, but I can't let you through without Miss Von Karma's express permission. That's not a bad way to handle the situation if it was any old case, but this isn't. So between you and Miss Von Karma, who's better at their job? Oh, there's no comparison to be made, Detective. None. Wait, why am I given the option? It's pretty easy to tell who sleeps in which bunk just by looking. I'm always certain that the well-kept one up top belongs to Miss Toledo. Ew! This bottom one is a giant mess! You sloven, squalid scoundrel of a man. You dare to scrutinize a woman's bed and invade her privacy? No! There's some things to life best kept to yourself, Detective. Well, go on, let's hear our troublesome attendant out. In due time, I do have one thing I'd like to ask you. Yes? Do you plan to continue using that whip for the foreseeable future? Of course! I've wrangled many a testimony out of people thanks to it. Yeah, probably a whole ton of yelps. No! And I'm willing to bet that the majority of them came from you, Detective. Wow! Wow, Edgeworth, how dare you? Don't be an asshole. And what are inside these boxes? Oh, those are some souvenirs I bought in Borginia. There's so many! There's even a second box! Well, yes, I find that folk art from around the world does great things for my creativity. Those suitcases certainly could have done with a whole lot less of your creativity. Now we can talk to her. Captain's permission. Why did you lie about receiving the captain's permission like that? Because I didn't think I would be able to get his permission. What do you mean? The captain, he only has ears for Cammy. I spoke with the captain a little earlier myself. He definitely seems to be rather taken with Miss Meal. Yes, and on top of that, I had mistakenly accused Mr. Edgeworth of being the killer. I wanted to make amends. In that case, please allow me to thank you for what you did. Thanks to you, I was able to clear myself of all charges. Really? You were able to prove your innocence? Oh, thank goodness! Miss Toledo, is it? There's one more thing I'd like to ask you. You were in the in-flight shop just before the turbulence, weren't you? Please answer honestly. Yes, I was. And why were you there? Well, Why the sudden hesitation? Francisco seems to have struck a nerve. In-flight shop. All I did was go check up on the shop like I always do. Just saying it was for work then. Yes, I'm in charge of the shop, so I have to keep an eye on it. I don't have any reason to go there otherwise. After your visit to the shop, you paid a visit to this room, correct? Yes, I came back to freshen up and adjust my makeup. I'm sorry, but there isn't much else to tell. Miss Toledo claims to have no reason other than duty to go to the shop. But is that all there is to it? Maybe I should ask her about that thing. I believe when he's talking about that thing, I believe he's referring to this. If you could please take a look at this for me, Miss Toledo. Oh, that suitcase. Yes, about this suitcase. You are the one who designed it, correct? And I think I figured something else out about it. This suitcase is the reason you went to the shop, isn't it? I did not even press a button. It just, apparently I pressed it twice in very Succession. There's nothing you won't find out eventually, is there? Won't you please tell me more about this suitcase? Yes, well, I was interested in seeing how the suitcases I had designed were selling. I know that as a service professional, I'm not supposed to care. But I really wanted to know. And I was glad to see that it was the last one there. The last one there. The last one there. The last suitcase. So you're saying, Miss Tenero, that the suitcase in question was the last one? Yes, they're just so popular, they're practically flying off the shelves. That's not exactly the impression I got. The one in the shop is most definitely the last one. Well, we're currently looking at that suitcase. Really? Then I guess we sold all of them. Thank you very much for taking the last one. I didn't say anything about buying it. Then say you'll buy it. I'm sorry. I can't. But why? I think it'd go great with your complexion, Mr. Edgeworth. It really suits you. Man, she's getting really... Well, I know it's her work on that suitcase, but she is getting really too defensive about it. I guarantee it personally as a service professional. Well, that is... How should I put this? It's hideous. What? Maybe that was a bit too direct. Moving on. My with you with the suitcases isn't the design. It's the number of them remaining. Remaining? There were 2 suitcases in the in-flight shop when I investigated it. 2? But that's impossible. I'm sure there was only 1. Looks like her story has generated quite the contradiction. When I left the shop, I'm positive there was only 1 suitcase left. Something is amiss here. What could be the meaning of this inconsistency? By the way, Miss Tenero, what is one of those suitcases doing here? That's... I thought you said there was only 1 left. That one is, it's mine. I've used it for a very long time now. She's used it for a long time? I think not. Miss Toledo, I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't lie to me. Excuse me? I don't believe for even 1 second that you've used this for a very long time. What proves that this hasn't been used for nearly as long as Miss Tornado says? The price tag, obviously. Tell me, Miss Tornado, is it also your habit to keep the price tag pristine on your suitcase? Ah! What is the meaning of this? Why would you lie about a suitcase? Despite having faith in the design sense, the sales numbers made her cry bitter tears. The truth is becoming increasingly clear to me. Miss Tenero, I think I understand. I know what you are trying to hide. Now then, this suitcase was originally in the flight shop. The in-flight shop. Seeing as how the price tag is still on this suitcase, one can only assume it was out on the floor and for sale in the shop. And the person who bought this suitcase was Miss Tenero herself.
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it, Miss Tenero? I hate to say this, but the suitcase that you designed, it hasn't sold very well, has it? You saw how poorly this design that you poured your heart into was selling, and were deeply hurt. That's why you wanted to make it look like it was selling by buying it yourself. Isn't that right? Then the reason you went to the shop and came back here was... I'm sorry. All I really have is my job. I I was overjoyed when my design was chosen. I thought that maybe I had finally accomplished something. But the suitcase didn't sell. It's because of the design, isn't it? Or because it's, as you put it, hideous. I can't say they chose a great price with which to sell them either. We weren't selling a single one and they were just sitting there collecting dust. I felt so bad seeing them there day in and day out. So I decided to buy one for every flight I worked. You buy one every single time you work a flight? I see. So in order to keep your resolution, you went and bought one today as well. Yes, and here's my receipt for that purchase. This receipt is clearly timestamped 5:40 a.m. Suitcase receipt dated jotted down in my organizer. Bought at the in-flight shop and left in attendance room. The timestamp says 5:40 a.m. The truth is, there's still a bunch of them left unsold. They're planning to scrap the remaining ones at the end of this flight. Miss Tornado, where are these other suitcases? They should all be down in the cargo hold. Then the suitcase the killer used could very well have come from the cargo hold. Mr. Edgeworth, you don't think that the killer used one of my suitcases too? Yes, I do. The killer used one of your beloved suitcases to move the victim's body. How could they? Those suitcases were meant to be faithful partners to our passengers on their trips. That's all I ever wished for them to be. Miss Tornado, is there any other way to get to the cargo hold other than the elevator? The only other way is just through that door there. And what about security? That door has no special lock installed because just to enter this room, you need a special key card that only crew members have access to. Which means that the culprit is someone who can enter this room, eliminating the passengers and leaving only crew members as potential suspects. I can't believe it. Yes, Francis. Hold it! Yes, Franziska. Going on these wild goose chases. You're a disgrace to the Von Karman name. And what do you mean by that? The suitcase came from the cargo hold. That fact alone tells the whole story. Yes, which is why I said the culprit must be a crew member who used their key card. Miles Edgeworth! You're proposing that the killer rode the elevator from the cargo hold, correct? Yes, that's the only realistic possibility. That other attendant, Miss Meal. I asked her earlier and she had this to say. Francisco got information out of Miss Meal. In order to make the elevator go down in the cargo hold, a different key card is required. A different one? Yes, and the only person who holds that particular card is you, Miss Rhoda Tenero. And only you! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. What? This is saying, ah! What? Is this true, Miss Tenero? Yes. I keep that key card in my locker at all times. Could you please show us that card right now? Yes, hold on. I don't believe it. What's wrong? The key card, it's gone. Ha ha ha, very clever. Pretending that your card was stolen, when in fact you're just trying to hide it from it. Hey Franziska! Now you're just making assumptions here, ma'am! You really thought this through. Wait! It's not like that! You can tell us all about what it's like down at the station. Officer, arrest this woman! Yes, ma'am! Mr. Edgeworth. What's wrong? There's disbelief written all over your face. Franziska, I know that you're the lead investigator on this case. However, hold it! Don't even think about wasting any more of my time. You know the rules as well as I do. And no, and no, we're not singing that damn Rickroll song either. Evidence. Evidence speaks louder than words. Even if this isn't a courtroom, that basic tenet still applies. I intend to investigate the cargo hold now. What will you do, Miles Edgeworth? I intend to do likewise. And that's the end of the episode. So it took us a little over 45 minutes to do that. Alright. So, this is actually where we meet our final area. So I'm actually going to do this either tomorrow night or the day after with this area. Because this is where everything comes together, pretty much. So with that being said, I'll probably take a little bit of a break real quick and probably do a bit of something that I haven't done in a while, because I know some people probably be wanting to see this. But I'll be reading this book here in a little bit. But right now I'm gonna take a little break and yeah, take a little break and I will be right back. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Hope you guys enjoyed, and until, well, in a few minutes, maybe 10, 15, we'll see what happens. Either way, until then, this is Forrest Walpole, signing off.